In the bustling heart of Europe, where canals mirror the city's vibrant energy, lies Amsterdam. The year is 1983, and the city is alive with activity. Office workers briskly navigate their way through a sea of bicycles, each turn bringing them closer to home and the promise of a warm evening. The sun sets over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, a picturesque backdrop to the everyday lives of the Dutch. Amidst this urban ballet, there exists a man of prominence, Freddy Heineken, the head honcho of the world-famous Heineken brewing empire. His face, etched with years of success and charisma, is a familiar sight on the Dutch business circuit. Tonight, he's leaving work, his usual route, a comfortable familiarity that has become part of his daily routine. Little does he know that tonight is no ordinary day. A few blocks away, a dark van emerges from the maze of streets, blending seamlessly into the twilight. Inside, 4 figures sit in tense silence, their faces obscured by the shadows. These are no ordinary men. They are William, Corbanese, Ernest Han, Branson, Jeffrey, or Jeff Go. These men have been studying Freddy Heineken's routine, his office security, and every minute detail of his life. They know his habits and his vulnerabilities, and they are prepared. They've spent months in meticulous planning. Now it's time to put their strategy to the ultimate test. As Freddy approaches his car, the van makes its move, bursting through the crowd like a phantom, tearing gas everywhere. In an instant, Freddy finds himself surrounded, his driver, Abadodera, at his side. It's a scene straight out of a Hollywood thriller, but it's real. The men are armed, their voices raspy with menace, and before either Freddy or Ab can react, they're shoved into the waiting van. With surprising speed and agility, the kidnappers drive off, disappearing into the labyrinthine streets of Amsterdam. The city that moments ago was filled with the hum of daily life is now gripped by shock and disbelief. As the news of the kidnapping spreads, the city's inhabitants huddle around their radios and televisions, trying to make sense of this audacious crime. Meanwhile, far from the prying eyes of the public, Freddy and his driver are tossed into a dimly lit room, the first of many such chambers they will call home during their captivity. Here, their ordeal truly begins, marked by isolation, fear, and the constant threat of the unknown. The kidnappers, confident and cunning, have meticulously planned every aspect of their prison. The rooms are soundproof, devoid of windows, and equipped with steel doors that offer no view into the outside world. Freddy and Ab have no idea where they are, what their captors' intentions are, or how long they will remain trapped in this subterranean labyrinth. Then comes the letter, a chilling missive delivered to the authorities outlining the kidnappers' demands and the dire consequences of non-compliance. The stakes have been raised. The men are pawns in a dangerous game, and time is running out. This isn't just a crime. It's a war of nerves, a battle of wits between the abductors and the police. Now, cut to the heart of the Dutch capital. At the city's core, the police headquarters buzzes with activity. Officials pore over the scant information provided by the kidnappers, trying to decipher their motives and predict their next move. Freddy Heineken's wife, a pillar of strength, keeps vigil, refusing to give in to despair. She knows her husband's resilience, his ability to navigate the toughest of situations. Yet she also understands the gravity of their demands and the danger that lurks around every corner. Every tick-tock of the clock echoes the urgency of the situation. Each passing hour brings mounting pressure, not only for the police but for Freddy and his driver as well. As the drama unfolds, the world watches intently. This isn't just a local crime anymore. It's a global spectacle, a showdown between the forces of good and evil. Amidst the chaos, heroes emerge. Law enforcement officials work tirelessly, their determination fueled by a sense of duty and the hope of a swift resolution. But this is no ordinary case. The kidnappers are elusive, their every move designed to thwart the efforts of the police. With each passing day, the tension ratchets up, threatening to consume everyone involved. Back in the shadowy confines of the hideout, Freddy and Ab endure their ordeal with stoic courage. The isolation is deafening, the fear palpable. Yet they hold on, clinging to the belief that dawn will eventually break through the darkness. The Heineken kidnapping wasn't your average crime spree. It was a masterclass in premeditation, executed by individuals whose desperation had morphed into a dangerous obsession with money and notoriety. These weren't petty criminals driven by momentary impulses. No, this was the product of calculated minds that had studied their target relentlessly for months. The story of the mastermind behind this operation is a tale of ambitions that knew no bounds. A man named Cor Van Ays, a name that would soon become synonymous with audacity and cunning. Cor wasn't just a member of this infamous gang, he was the architect of their downfall. His criminal record, a testament to his dangerous predilections, hinted at the depths of his depravity. Yet it was his charisma and sharp intellect that made him a formidable force, a trait that led him to take the lead in this audacious kidnapping. But the journey to this point was a long one. CR's early life remains shrouded in mystery, a puzzle with missing pieces that could shed light on the formation of his criminal mind. We know he had a criminal past, a series of offenses that painted a picture of a man unafraid to tread on the darker side of the law. However, it was his association with the Heineken kidnapping that cemented his place in infamy. He wasn't just a participant, he was the driving force, the strategist who held the reins of this terrifying ordeal. His co-conspirators, Jan Brants, Ernest Wallace, and Jeffrey Gualt, were no less determined. Together, they formed a league of extraordinary desperados, bound by a common goal: the kidnapping of one of Europe's richest men. As the investigation into the Heineken kidnapping gained momentum, so did the manhunt for Cor Van Ays and his accomplices. The police were on the trail, piecing together fragments of evidence that could lead to the kidnappers' arrest. Each lead was a lifeline, every bit of intelligence a beacon in the darkness of this complex case. The hunt for Cor Van Ays, however, was particularly intense. He was wanted not just for his role in the kidnapping, but for being the alleged mastermind. The pressure was immense, the stakes higher than ever before. Cor, being the cunning individual that he was adept at remaining one step ahead. The police found themselves in a cat-and-mouse game, chasing shadows and grappling with limited information, but they were relentless. Every lead was pursued, every tip thoroughly investigated, no matter how obscure or seemingly insignificant it may have been. As the net tightened around Cor and his accomplices, the question on everyone's lips became, where could they be hiding? Cor, with his years of criminal experience, likely knew the ins and outs of the city's underbelly like the back of his hand. The police were venturing into unfamiliar territories, hoping to catch a break, a small piece of information that could unlock the case. Their search led them through the city's winding streets, into its abandoned buildings, and into the darkest corners of its criminal underworld. It was a tough and arduous task, made more challenging by the fact that the kidnappers had carefully constructed a web of deceit to throw the authorities off their scent. Yet the police pressed on. They scoured through neighborhoods, interrogated possible witnesses, and followed any lead that promised even the slightest glimmer of hope. As the days turned into weeks, the pressure mounted. The Heineken family was living through a nightmare, and the public outcry was growing louder by the day. The police were under immense scrutiny, and the need for results was pressing. The kidnapping had sent shockwaves through the nation, raising questions about security, vulnerability, and the lengths to which some men would go for money and power. The stakes were incredibly high. Not only was the reputation of the police force on the line, but the very essence of justice and the rule of law was being challenged. They couldn't afford to fail. They had to find Cor and his accomplices, not just for the sake of the case, but for the sake of sending a message that crime, especially of this magnitude, would not go unpunished. In the face of these challenges, the police remained steadfast. They continued their meticulous work, combing through every piece of information, however small, and connecting the dots in the hopes of getting closer to Cor and his associates. Their dedication was unwavering, their resolve strengthened by the weight of the city's trust and the hope for a swift resolution to this terrifying ordeal. While the police were hot on their trail, Cor and his gang were enjoying the fruits of their audacious crime, basking in the notoriety that came with holding one of Europe's richest men captive. The gang, feeling invincible, had no inkling of the manhunt that was underway, nor the lengths to which the authorities would go to bring them to justice. Little did they know that their luck wouldn't last forever. As the wheels of justice turned, the jig was up. The men would soon learn the hard way that no matter how intricate your plan, how perfect it may seem, there's always a chink in the armor, a loose thread that could unravel the entire design. Their capture was imminent, and the city of Amsterdam, along with the rest of the world, waited with bated breath for the resolution of this unprecedented crime. In the annals of criminal history, the abduction of Freddie Heineken stands out as a chilling testament to human greed and audacity. It's a tale of meticulous planning, of cunning execution, and the lengths to which desperation can drive men. It's a story that continues to fascinate, to horrify, and to serve as a reminder that in the grand theater of life, sometimes the most horrifying acts are committed by the most ordinary of men.